Well, Nigeria's rice production is estimated to fall by 7% in the marketing year beginning October through September 2023. Production is expected to decline to 7.8 million metric tons from 8.4 million tons in 2021 to 2022, the United States Agricultural Department, USDA, said in its Nigeria Grain and Feed update. According to the report, the area harvested is expected to shrink by 7% to 3.4 million hectares. A hectare equals 2.47 acres in the current marketing year. Well, let's assess the impact of this as we review the culprits responsible for the fall in production of the staple meal. And joining us to assess this is Abdullahi Idris Zuru, GM, Labana Rice Mills. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Zuru.
Thank you very much, Madam.
Good to have you on the show. Well, let's begin by looking at this report by the USDA. What are your thoughts on it? How does it come to you?
It wasn't unexpected, going by how rice production and processing is being carried out or is being done in this country, Nigeria. Initially, at the advent of the present democratic dispensation, President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure from 2015, an attempt was made by the federal government to improve or increase the rice farming and at the same time promote rice processing. How do they do that? The president launched what the government called Anchor Growers Program, where smallholder farmers are assisted with inputs and cash to expand their farms and produce more. Other support for improving high quality paddy rice that will now be obtained by the rice mills in Nigeria. That was successfully launched, but along the line, in the process of implementation, it was somehow distorted, or it was the support meant for smallholder farmers ended up into the hands of businessmen and political associates, and that grossly affected the Anchor Growers Program, which I said earlier, it was well intended. It focused on improvement or increasing the production of paddy rice and then promoting rice processing in this country. But in a democratic era, it started very well, but somehow along the line, it crashed down. Crashed down in the sense that those that are supposed to be supported, those are supposed to be encouraged, were not. The assistance or the support did not reach them, but rather it was cornered or given to political associates or given to the people we call white farmers, that they are not real farmers. That is on the aspect of production. And I said it was well intended because before the advent of Buhari's administration, we had not more than 15 standard rice processing factories in this country. And after the launch of the program, Nigerian investors were encouraged to establish rice mills. Even the foreigners came in to establish rice mills because of the support that was contained in the program, Anchor Growers Program. As I'm talking to you today, we have more than 500 rice mills in this country within the last 7 years. But unfortunately, when people invested their resources, particularly indigenous investors, there are some with 8 metric tons per hour, 100,000 tons per annum. So many of them, the rice mills in different categories and different capacities were established in this country. So the end now, the government support for the rice farmers is no longer there. Government support for the processing industries is no longer there. But let me use the opportunity to express gratitude to the central bank governor. He has honestly and sincerely supported in establishment of rice mills in this country through government support. That must be appreciated and that must be pointed out at this point in time. But like I said, a lot of things come over. As I'm talking to you now, the government program in promoting rice investment and promoting rice farming in this country is being threatened. It's been threatened, I repeat.
All right. We will, of course, look at all of these threats impeding the production of rice in Nigeria. But in 2021, between 2021 and 2022, we saw a yield increase marginally due to good weather, improved management practices, and also other issues. But this report can also indicate is an indication that it's really not looking good, especially for 2023 when it comes to rice production. What do you think are the impeding factors? Would you attribute it to the recent flooding issue that happened, or would you attribute it to the insecurity currently ravaging the country?
Well, thank you very much. Even the 2021, 2022 that you said we've recorded appreciable even those years, I can recall there was.
All right, Mr. Zuru, they're talking to us about the projected drop in the production of rice, especially in Nigeria, and that is coming from the United States Department of Agriculture. And we're looking at all of these issues and what can be done, especially to feed the consuming public. Thank you for joining us again, Mr. Zuru.
Thank you very much.
All right, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, like I was saying, even in 2020, 2021, there was very devastating flood, which affected many farms in this country, particularly those along the river banks. Like, for example, Labana Rice Mills in Kebbi State, which has Labana Farms as its feeder, cultivated about 70,000 hectares of farmland. But unfortunately, the flood swept up all the products. And it's not only Labana Farms what was affected, so many farms in different parts of the country were affected. But despite that, like you said, there was appreciable improvement. But now, like I started saying, the rice farming and the rice processing industry is crashing. It's been threatened. Yes, investors invested, and they all aim at supporting government's efforts in ensuring availability of food or affordable food, rice for Nigerians consumers. And that is why people are not only doing it for interest for profit purposes, even to contribute to the success of the government programs. But unfortunately, the way the government allowed, as I'm talking to you now, smuggling of foreign rice into the country is threatening the rice farming and production in this country. I'll give you an example. If you go to Lagos, most of the places rice is being sold, go to Kano, Singa Market. These rice markets are flooded with foreign rice, and they are bringing day out, day in. Are you telling me the government is not aware of this thing? Is it encouraging the investors? Is it encouraging the farmers? The multiplier effects of this, so to say, I don't care attitude and checking the borders and allowing the foreign rice to get into Nigerian market is that, number one, the farmers, even if at all they produce, there will be no market for them. Their resources will be wasted. The investor, I mean the owners of rice processing industry, when they produce, there will be no market because the foreign rice flooded the market, apparently with the support of some of the government agencies. Because nobody can deny the fact that the borders are not only open, they are widely open. for smugglers to have their day.
But let me come in there, Mr. Zuru. You'd recall that in 2019, the borders were shut, especially to the importation of rice. And we hear, or there were reports that the smuggling even continued despite the border closure. Do you see that as an effective way of tackling rice smuggling?
Yeah, it was. But even then, when it was closed 2019, it was, so to say, partially closed. Because you see, Nigerian borders are porous. Smugglers use different parts of the borders to bring in these goods. And we don't want to believe that the security agencies manage borders are not aware about the existence of these porous areas, so that they will make adequate arrangement and cover up. But now, they are not even using the porous, they are not capitalizing on the porous nature of the borders. They are coming in there, even during that it was. Before, it was in the night, but now daylight smuggling of rice into the country is going on. So how do you encourage the farmers?
But
the rice millers are supposed to patronize the rice farmers,
Mr.
Zuru, at reasonable prices. Then the millers are also expected to process and sell at considerable prices, affordable to Nigerians. But with the flooding of Nigerian markets with foreign rice, how can they survive? What happened to their investments? What happened to the farmers that will go home and sit down? I'm talking to you at now. So the closure of border in 2019 didn't help much because they used the porous area. But now it's like the government has declared the borders open.
Yes, but if we do not have enough local production, how do you expect the federal government to completely shut out the importation or smuggling of this commodity, especially looking at the fact that even the locally produced one are quite expensive?
Sorry, it is not very expensive like you now assume. And as the capacity of the rice mills being established today in Nigeria are enough to provide enough rice for consumption in this country, and that will take care of any attempt or any plan the government has to import. Like I told you, we have rice mills that are processing 40 tons per hour. We have that are processing 60 tons per hour, up to 8 tons per hour, 6 tons per hour. That means of different capacities. We have the country, and the investors invested heavily on this. Right?
Some network challenges there, but of course we're still assessing this report by the United States Department of Agriculture, predicting that the production of rice may drop by 7% in 2023, and of course that's starting from October 2022 into September 2023, and we're going to see the import of this. Mr. Zuru, welcome back. All right, still encountering some challenges there, but there are so many issues surrounding this USDA report. Mr. Zuru, are you with us now?
Policies and programs without proper consultations and involvement of the major stakeholders, like the Rice Processors Association of Nigeria, FAN, that is the umbrella of all the rice processors in Nigeria. Get to find out from them. They will give you comprehensive report on the number of rice mills and the capacity of each rice mill. Then compare it with what they say is the nation's requirement of rice. Then we'll see that the Nigerian rice industries have the capacity to provide Nigerian rice requirement. And even if they say it's not up to, are there no officially and recognized simple ways of bridging the gap? Is it enough to open up the borders without having statistics of number of rice mills, the quantity they are producing per annum? It shouldn't be easy. If there is that gap, however big, however small, there are ways they can bridge up the gaps through using these heavy rice investors to bridge the gap, not to say, okay, since somebody has interest somewhere and wants to protect the interest, and I just came out and say, okay, let's open the borders. Or let's lie low on the smugglers so that we get the national requirement. Go to Lagos, go to Kano and see how saturated the markets are.
All right, well, let's also further look at the other predictions on this report, saying that production is expected to decline to 7.8 million metric tons from 8.4 million tons in 2021, between 2021 and 2022. Should we be worried, or are there options that must be explored, especially to shore up this deficit? What do you think the federal government and relevant stakeholders can do about this? All right, looks like we've lost connection with Mr. Zuru, but these are the issues. What exactly is in the offing for the consuming public now that there are predictions that there would be a drop in production? We know that even as we speak currently, the production isn't even up to capacity, and a lot is still being said about how expensive the product is. Thank you for joining us again, Mr. Zuru.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
So looking at this prediction, especially looking at the fact that there would be a drop according to the report, a drop in the production of rice, what do you think the federal government and all relevant stakeholders can do to mitigate this this upcoming issue?
You see, like I earlier said, the Buhari administration has very good plan for food production, and that is why many of Nigerian businessmen are invested in rice processing. And a lot of we have more than 200% increase in the number of rice mills in this country from 2015 to date. What should be done, which the Rice Producers Association of Nigeria has been agitating for, is holistic approach with sincerity of purpose among the stakeholders. The federal government should harmonize, bring together all the major stakeholders, which include Federal Ministry of Agri, Rice Producers Association, Rice Farmers Associations, Farmers Associations, the CBN, the Rice Sellers Association of Nigeria. All these are major stakeholders. If they come together, realistically fashion out a comprehensive program without any interest, without bias, certainly we will be able to achieve whatever the government wants us to achieve, and Nigerian populace will be provided with high quality parboiled rice. But the only unfortunate thing is, government policies do somersaults, and that is mostly what is causing problem in some of the government programs. If there is a gap, like you said earlier, and the government wants to bridge the gap, it cannot be by opening or tactfully opening borders, so to say. You understand? It should be done by coming together, bringing together all the stakeholders. How do we address the issue? And the Rice Producers Association of Nigeria has a comprehensive plan. All they need is let's join others so that we share ideas. This is we processors. This is our stand. This is our position. This is what we'll be able to do. The rice farmers will do the same thing. The market traders will do the same thing. Then we'll arrive at a workable solution that will produce the desired results for this country. But in a situation where one government agency will be doing one thing, another government agency will be doing another thing, there will be clash of interest, particularly being experienced or being noticed among the government agencies that are responsible for promoting this business, that are responsible for ensuring steady all-round rice production in this country. Yes.
All right, we'll just leave it there and hope that the necessary things are done, especially to mitigate this projected statistics by the United States Department of Agriculture. Thank you so much for your time on the show, Mr. Abdullahi Idrisu, GM Labana Rice Mills.
Please, like I've told you, most of the rice mills now, most of them have more than 500 trucks in their warehouses. How do they progress? 200 to 500 trucks, no market, no sales. How do you address the issue? While the body rice is being flooded in the market.
All right, we hope that the necessary things will be done, as I said earlier, because we can only do our own part by bringing the issues to the front burner. We hope that the federal government would also play their own part by ensuring that we work towards achieving better production, especially in the rice industry. Thank you so much for your time on the show.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Have a great day. Well, we'll take a break now. When we'll come back, we will be delving into the global oil market as well as the stock market. Please stay with us.